Okay. First, I would like to welcome everybody to Penn Branch meeting tonight. Thank you for coming out. I know it's a little brisk outside. And it also looks like we're going to have a winter mix this week on Thursday. So let's cross our fingers, hope we don't get snow. But anywho, I'm a festive person, so I'm already ready to put my Christmas tree up. So tonight I have a few exciting things that I want to discuss with the neighborhood. First and foremost, I want to announce that we will be having a winter event this winter. It's actually going to be December 15th. And it will, as of right now, it's an outdoor event that will be at the Penn Branch Shopping Center, the back corridor of the facility. And it will be from 12 to 4. I don't know if I already said that or not. And it will be sponsored in conjunction with us with the mayor office. We plan to have outdoor heaters, music, entertainment, vendors, food trucks, art, the works, activities for kids and children, for the community. So I'm very excited about this event.
The date again?
December 15th.
The 15th, okay. Thank you.
From 12 to 4 p.m. And it's a winter event. We're going to call it the Holiday Bazaar. And we hope to get local artists, entertainment, vendors to sell stuff. We will have hot cocoa and chocolate. We will have activities for the kids, maybe like ornament decorating. Maybe we'll do a tree lighting. So I'm really excited about this, and I hope everybody will come out and support. So that will be, again, December 15th from 12 to 4. And as I get more details, I will fill you guys in. As of right now, again, it will be outside. If they choose to have it inside, we will possibly be in the facility where the Planet Fitness will be. Okay, also, moving on, I don't know how many people, I think I see a few faces here that were there. On November 3rd, we had a candidate forum for the ANC. That went really well, and I was even shocked with the turnout that we had, and I did that in conjunction with 3 other neighboring communities, and that was the first of its kind, and we got so many positive reviews for putting that together, and I think this is something that's going to continuously happen for the years to come. We had the mayor show up, we had Eleanor Holmes Norton show up, we had a lot of other council members and people from the community that came up and showed out, and it was very informative and very good to be there to kind of engage with the ANC people that were running and just kind of hear their thoughts and what they wanted to provide for our communities. And I hope in the future to see more of my Penn Branchers there in support for events like this, because you know, if you have things that you want to change or you want to see improve in your community, you have to be involved. So again, it was an excellent event, and I would like to see more people from our community there next time. Also, we have a new ANC person that is here tonight, and her name is Nicole Smith McDormand, and I'm going to give her a few minutes to introduce herself to the community. I'm very excited to work with her, and hopefully we'll be able to get a whole lot of things done with this fresh blood that we have coming in January. So Nicole, I'll give you a chance to introduce yourself to Penn Branch. Please give her a round of applause.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Nicole Smith McDermott. I am the ANC Commissioner-elect for SMD 7B04. And thank you, Shannon, for inviting me here. I just wanted to introduce myself to let you all know who I was, and I definitely look forward to working with the Civic Association in partnership and in collaboration so that, you know, we can make our community better than what it already is. I think we have a great community, but, you know, we can always, it's always room for improvement and always room for us to do things a little better. So I definitely look forward to, again, working with Shannon and the Civic Association, and I look forward to seeing a lot more of your faces and working with you all as well in the community. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so her and I have had a discussion, and again, you know, we are excited and ready to do some hard work to make things happen, and I'm excited for what's to come. So I really think we're about to see a lot of change and forward thinking, so let's just, you know, strap on for this ride ahead. So thank you, Nicole, again. Okay, so now I'll have Jacqueline come up and give us the meeting minutes.
Thanks, Shannon. I'll just take a few moments to read the minutes, and everyone has a copy of the minutes. It's on the flip side of the agenda. There should be handouts on the table. At our last meeting on October the 9th, Shannon, our president, she gave us an update on our meeting with the O Street Neighbors and Friends. She also gave us an update on meetings and the latest information we got from Jar Lynch. And the good news is there was discussions about redevelopment, reconstruction, and information as to what they were doing to handle the traffic and the noise that it was causing the O Street residents. She also announced the new name of the shopping center to be the Shops at Penn Branch as opposed to the Shops at Penn Hill. I think that was a contention with everyone with the name, so we were happy to hear that they took the residents' concerns into consideration and named it the Shops at Penn Branch. She also announced that Planet Fitness will be completed by February, and we've all seen the signs that have gone up in the shopping center. It's coming. I saw this evening they're about to open, I guess, a registration area in the facility right next door to the CVS. So please, everyone, stop by and join if you can. She announced, of course, the ANC forum that was held on November 3rd. And also the new Pbcca membership cards. We have membership cards here this evening. One is in the back for those who didn't get their cards already. We had presentations from the DC at-large candidates, Alyssa Silverman, Ralph Chitums, and Rustin Lewis. They each gave a brief overview of their platforms and issues that were their priority. We received the Secretary's report from Elsa Nash. He summarized the minutes from the September meeting. The minutes were accepted by Ms. Joan and probably seconded by Ms. Paul. Our Treasurer, Tawana Banks, gave a Treasury report that included feedback from September 1 through 30 and announced that we received, she announced what the balance of the account was and the support that we received during the Hillcrest Neighborhood Association. Also, we have t-shirts on sale for $15, and she's taking orders at this meeting and future meetings. Myself, Jacqueline Cannon, announced that we were kicking off our fall membership drive. Ms. Tony in the back is holding up the t-shirts now if anyone's interested in placing their order. Beautiful t-shirts. We're actually supposed to wear ours.
Tawana has hers on.
Yes, they're really nice, very...
Super soft.
Yes. But anyways, place your order tonight for $15 if you desire to have one. We also, again, kicked off the fall membership drive that's in effect from October through December. The membership is $20 per a 4-member household. We have applications here. Ms. Tawana, do we have applications here tonight, Tawana? No, okay. Okay. Well, we had applications at the meeting the last time. We also have applications available on the website. The goal was to increase our membership by 25% from the previous years. We encouraged our neighbors to become a member. The membership dues help pays for supplies and copies that you see here tonight, and food that we'll have at future meetings. And I ask that you contact myself or Stan Benton for more information. Also ask that you continue to review the website for updates, that there was a chess club at the Francis Gregory Library every Wednesday from 6 to 7, started on October the 10th. Beers also has an organic program where you can obtain vegetable bundles for $15. Families with reduced income levels or that on WIC, they're available for $8, and it's every Thursday from 1 to 6 p.m. Ms. Paul from the Public Works Committee announced about the upcoming cleanup for the park. That was planned for October 27th, but had to be rescheduled because of the rain. It was actually held this past Saturday. I'll let her share all about how wonderful that was. And she also announced that a new flag was going to be placed at the park soon. We had a guest speaker, Ms. Stephanie Reiser, coming to us and sharing information about the Nicholson Street project, a social fabric project that was creating an artist in residency program for local DC artists, if you will. And Mr. Cedric Muhammad from Councilmember Gray's office was here talking about the new Ward 8 Health Center and other health issues that are pertinent to our community. He also mentioned about the closing of the Providence Hospital and how devastating that was to our community, and mentioned about what the council member Gray was doing in regards to the Greenway Shopping Center and the development of that area at Benning Road and Minnesota Avenue. Were there any addendums or updates to the minutes? No?
Nope.
Can the minutes be accepted?
Here.
Second? Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, so now we will have our crime report from Lieutenant Jameson. We missed you.
Oh, I know. I don't miss doing anything.
No, you don't.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I want to start off by first saying today was the first day DC Police rolled out their new uniforms. They're going to a darker blue, the light blue. You're not going to see too many of that anymore. And this patch here will be on both shoulders. That's the main difference you're going to see. But the police crime will still remain the same. Also, there was a homicide on 39th block of Southern Avenue last week, next to Fairfax Village. Actually, 2 houses down from mine. That gentleman lived up on Buena Vista Terrace. It seemed like a targeted attack. So I don't think my community or our community was at risk, but again, a life was lost in DC. And you do know that the homicide rate is kind of high in DC, a lot more than last year. So if anybody have any information about that, call the tip line so we can get that closed. So let me go on with the crime rate in 605. Violent crime was up 40%. It was increase in robberies and assault and dangerous weapons in the last 30 days. The property crime was down 35%, and the total crime was down by 26%. I want to start with the theft from autos. We had 11 of those, and about 8 of them were handicapped placards around your rearview window, mirror, right? And I just saw some on the news about this. Apparently, it's some national trend of people stealing these. So if you do have a handicapped placard around your rearview mirror, and in order for parking, not for driving, I would take it off and put it in your glove box or something like that, or your sun visor, and just use it to park. And I think it actually says that on there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Okay, somebody's going around stealing just those placards from people's cars. And I do see a lot as I roll around in people's vehicles, the blue ones, the red ones, those don't have the actual tags. So 8 of my 11 theft models were those handicap placards. So obviously somebody's working to get those. I don't know if they're reselling them or making counterfeit copies of them. I don't think you need 11 of them to make one, but That seems like what's going on now, and it has hit our area a little bit harder than others in 6 days. So if you do have one, I would take it off when you're not parking. When you're parking, put it on. But if you don't need it when you're parking at, like in your driveway or something like that, I would put it in my glove box or on the sun visor or something like that, so it won't be stolen. We're right on with violent crime. We had 4 assault and dangerous weapons. 2 was in the 29 block of Nelson, 2 in the 29 block of Nash Place. Those were neighbors disputing with guns. It happened twice, so we keep a little eye on that block there. 45 block of Alabama Avenue. Last week we had a homicide. Part of 605 is on Alabama Avenue, not in Penn branch, but we had a homicide there 2 weeks ago in the 4700 block, and I have 30 years on next month, and I've never seen a homicide where 81 rounds were fired. 81 rounds were fired. I've never seen a homicide like that in almost 30 years. This guy was hit like 17 times. It's getting a little back in the 80s and 90s now in DC. We counted shell casings, and it was 2 to 3 rounds. Anything, if you know anything about guns, 2 to 3 rounds are the same rounds that the DC sniper used. They're real powerful rounds, and there's no survivor to hit one of those. So it's getting kind of crazy out there in DC. But I want everybody to protect themselves, because these days are getting a little like the 90s were, right? You know, we had the murder capital of the country, and we're getting to see some of those type of homicides with high-power weapons and lots of rounds being fired. So please be careful. We had 3 robberies: 29 block in Nelson, 4,000 block in Alabama, and 4300 block at 8th Street. There were no burglaries reported, which is a good thing, and only 3 stolen autos. The previous 60 days, there were 14 stolen autos in 605. There's only 3 in the last 30, so that's a big decrease. And they were in the 1700 block of Highwood Place, 1300 block of Anacostia, and the 4,000 block of Southern Avenue. You know, it's the holiday season. I like to give safety tips, and one of those is that packages and shopping for Christmas and don't have this stuff in the cars for people to see it. We still have some of these theft models. I read each report in detail. People still leaving laptops, money, cell phones, electronics in their vehicles. You know, like I said, every week there are people that get up every morning to do nothing but to rob you. That's all they do. You know, so please protect yourself. Do not leave these things in your vehicle. If you want to run in the house for a minute, just put it in your trunk so it won't be seen visible to anybody just walking down the street. We do occasionally see people walking down the street with flashlights and backpacks trying people's doors. They're only doing one thing: to break in your car and whatever they get to put that backpack and continue walking on. So don't, help yourself not to the vehicle. That's basically what I'm saying. Okay. Those who having packages delivered like from Amazon and all these other places, which they come here, I guess now. You can have a drop box. There's one at Alabama and Penn at the Exxon. You can go pick up the stuff. That's what I do. You have something delivered, so when we just drop that to your front door, and somebody comes and snatches it. So then you see that all the time. Okay. So if any questions, comments, and concerns, crime-wise? Yes, ma'am.
So where did you say that homicide was with all the rounds?
That was in the 4600 block of Alabama Avenue. Yeah, it's like on the edge of 605. 605.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
Okay.
Do you have any suggestions about security cameras or something that the city can help us with in terms of monitoring our properties and the street?
Okay. We know the city has a rebate program for the security cameras. And we have gotten a lot of good footage off of things with people's security cameras. That's one thing. The program, I think it's still going on. They get up to $500 rebate to go get your camera. Now, the only side to that is that if you event that something happened on your block, it gives the police the opportunity to look at the footage and see if we can see anything, solvability factors of any crime might have committed on your block. But the city does have a rebate program for cameras. I can't personally recommend any specific brand, but Costco sells them goods.
We've got information about that program that's on our website,
Okay.
PennBranchDC.org.
Thank you.
It's always a good thing. But we monitor the CCTV cameras that the police department put up. We don't have those in real time. Okay. Sir?
I see an advertisement, they have a flashlight with a taser on it. Is that gonna be legal to carry?
A taser?
Yeah. So they advertised the other day.
Well, you can carry a concealed weapon permit in DC. I don't see why you can't carry a taser. Any more? Yes.
I just want to report crime,
One poor crime.
3,300, it's not bad because basically what it
All
is.
crime is bad.
Well, people are stealing cars and parking them in the 3,300 block of Carpenter Street, southeast, on the left side. So I guess that's the west side. If you come-
Actually, I got something about a specific address on Carpenter about that.
Yes,
And
Yes.
I'm not gonna disclose it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have
So-
something like there.
we worked with MPD, DPW, and those, within 2 weeks, they had stolen 4 cars. One had Kentucky tags. I mean, it's like, I was like feeling sorry, maybe they stole them from a tourist, you know? One was Kentucky, one was Louisiana, so on and so forth. But DPW safely secured them at Blue Plains and contacted the owners. So nobody got hurt. That's why I said it wasn't a bad crime. So, but
Somebody's car was stolen.
the block captain, thanks to his alertness, Mackie McCray reported it, and we all worked as a team and got them all pulled from the street.
Okay, that's a good thing. Anything else? Any comments, concerns?
Earlier this month, there were a couple, like, I know rims were being stolen a lot. Have you found?
Yeah, thank you for that up. I would say about a month ago on 48th Place, I forgot if this was the last meeting. A month ago on 48th Place, there was a search warrant done on the house. And the vehicle that we believe that was responsible for stealing rims and tires was found at that location along with jacks and stuff inside the store, inside the van, and 60 tires and rims were found inside the house.
Wow.
60
60,000.
And how, where was that?
It was in the 8 block of 48th Place, right off of Nelson Barrels Avenue.
Wow.
Yeah, one of my officers found one of my officers saw the van up on Erie, which is over in this area. And I wrote down the temporary tag. He was off that day, but when they did the search warrant, I texted him a picture of the van. He said, oh yeah, that's the same tag number. Because they took off on him before they got the tires on the car he pulled up on. And it was a temporary tag, and most temporary tags are not registered. However, there was some information developed about the van that led our special investigation unit to do a search warrant on the house, and they found a whole lot of tires and rims in there. So they were in the process of trying to identify the owners of those, because some rims carried serial numbers on them, and they're in the process of trying to return those tires to the owners of the insurance company that paid off the vehicle. So
Is there a list that you're collecting of people whose rims were stolen? Because I know at least 2 of my neighbors.
Well, basically, the list will be made up of all the reports that were done with people's lists, and they can go to that. And what they'll probably do is they'll go to those reports and call those people up and see if they have any identifying markers on those rims. They can get them returned back to them.
Okay, and my last thing.
Sure.
A couple weeks ago, there was a car crash on my block.
Where you block at?
3000 M Street, so like we're at the 30th and M meet Minnesota by Earl's.
Okay.
So I was just wondering if you had any updates on that, because
I really don't usually track traffic accidents. This is a fatality.
well, this one was interesting because there was a gun in the front seat and they ran away.
Okay. Well, that doesn't come right up on the top of my head right now.
Okay.
But I'm sure we hopefully we covered the gun. You know what time of day that was?
It was two Saturdays ago.
Okay. What time was it? What day?
It was
Time of
like 2 p.m.
day? Okay, I can check on that
Yeah.
for you. Yeah, they probably just recovered the guns. They ran away. They probably don't have a, what we normally do with guns when we find them like that is we print them. And we have a new DNA lab downtown now, so they do all kinds of DNA swabs and things off the guns and see if there's a connection to any crime. And we do that regularly, by the way. There have been several times when one gun was connected to 6 or 7 homicides through ballistics. So that gun's just getting passed around, or rented out to murderers to go out and do damage to the neighborhood. So yeah, we have a whole system that track all guns. Every shell casing that's fired in DC that we recover is tested to see if it's a tracking, like a footprint of where this gun has been. And then we do a map, and we can say this gun's been here, this gun's been here, this gun's been here. These shell cases we recovered from all over. Even if nobody was shot, we would recover the shell cases and say, oh, these 2,000 shell cases came from the same gun this year. So that's how we track it with ATF and everything. Sir?
Just one more thing. How often do you guys patrol the neighborhood, and would you consider patrolling it more often now that the holiday seasons are here?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of overtime now. So that means I have officers working 10 hours, and then they will work an extra 8 hours doing specific areas where all the crime is increased. and that started back up a couple weeks ago. Like, for example, last night, even out in the rain, I had 44 extra officers that I wouldn't normally have. So that's how we flood the areas with high visibility to keep, I'd rather not be a victim of crime than to be a victim of crime, me have to come Johnny come late and try to solve it. So my thing is prevention. So when officers are not on assignment, now we have overtime units that can backfill where they would normally patrol, and most of them are on foot, bike, segways, and things like that to help keep the crime rate down. I think 605 is doing pretty good. Other parts of 60 is not, and we go where the most need is. And I live in Fairfax Village right up the street, so I have a personal interest to make sure the police do what they're supposed to do here, both professionally and personally. Sir.
One more. What can you really do about this left-hand turn coming out of the parking lot?
Yeah.
That thing is getting worse, man.
Other than the sign?
Yeah, what else can be done?
Well, we do have a traffic unit, and that's one of theirs, along with the do not enter signs for the rush hour, PM and AM. That sign coming out, you talking about the Penn Shopping Center, yeah, right. By the bank, making that left. Yeah, I told the traffic guys that work during the evening and day work tour to monitor that. But also when we do traffic enforcement, we don't want to create traffic by the police car either. So, I can get the stats on how many times we actually wrote tickets at that intersection, for that sign. Because we have officers dedicated to traffic enforcement.
Just put a camera there.
Why don't you just put a camera there? I mean, if you're speeding.
Get them coming out.
I'm not sure they even have cameras to do that. They usually speed, stop signs and things like that, but I can check into it.
I mean, they have right turn cameras. So they must have
Well, that's a red light.
turn the camera upside down.
Yeah, why not? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you can take that.
Okay,
Oh,
good.
okay. I had a question whether or not you had any information about police activity or incident that took place around October the 29th or 30th, and it involved perhaps either some type of a chase that had helicopters early in the morning, about 5:30.
There was one last week that I was involved in. That was the juveniles who were robbing people.
Did it come down Branch and hit Pennsylvania?
No, that was a PG County chase. I know what you're talking about, yeah. It crashed right up here on, I think, Branch and S. Yeah, that was something that PG County came in the city with. This for the record. DC Police Department do not get involved in chases involving other police departments.
Okay.
They're on their own. That's what that was. That car was wanted for carjacking. They happened in Clinton. They came in on Branch Avenue, and then they crashed on Branch and S. Actually, that chase was like 40 minutes. It went up to the Beltway, to the Parkway. Yeah, I was working that night, yeah. So we don't get involved in it. That was strictly PG County. And then unfortunately, when they come in and crash.
Okay, no, I understand that. It's not your jurisdiction. Thank you.
And we don't get involved in outside jurisdiction stuff. Go ahead, something. Okay. I'm sorry.
Well, no, I was to the question about what you've done about those left turns. I was thinking of maybe putting those sticks in the street to
You mean like
prevent pedestrians from cars from turning left there.
That's a thought.
Yeah.
They did that down on Benny Road by Pepco. Stop people making a U-turn. So yeah, those sticks it's a barrier, sure. They got it right down on 20-minute block of Pennsylvania Avenue as well.
Right.
People come out the gas station, so that's something DDOT or DPW can entertain.
Ms. Paul, you shaking your head no?
No, she's right here, so.
It's not that I'm against it. I live in, y'all know I live in the neighborhood, and I love this neighborhood till I bleed it. If you put, the law says that they have to be powerful enough to stop a car.
Yes.
So if I put posters in the road, then why not just close the egress point? Because if I put it in the road, because you're trying to stop them, because they're trying to go straight over and get in the right lane and go down Pennsylvania Avenue.
Right.
Then I am stopping the honest guy and gal who wants to go out, make a right, and do it legally.
No, you wouldn't be, because
We cannot put metal in the road because it becomes a liability, and that's private property. So you need to talk to the owner, and what he had talked to DDOT about, talking to traffic safety, was that construction you see him doing now was gonna include shutting that bad boogie-woogie down. And wide, taking the steps back so you could circulate to the left and go out down on the side or go out on Pennsylvania Avenue. That's what they're doing. Because there is not, if we put something there, we have closed that lane.
And we can, Ms. Paul, we can still go down to the back parking lot, right? So we can go out that way? On the far side of your CVS?
There's 2 lanes. Think about it. I want everybody to really slow down, think about it. You want the district to put, you minimally have to put 4 posters up. They have to be 12 inches apart. They have to be made of metal. They have to be in front of the egress point that you're trying to stop people from making a left, because they're not going to want to make an immediate left, because then they would be in the inbound lane. They want to go over. Now I've stopped. So there's 2 choices. Talk to Lamont.DC.gov, and he will get you the camera that he suggested.
Okay. Well, thank you, Lieutenant Jameson. I appreciate it. Next, we will have our guest speakers come up. I've invited DC Fire Department to be here today. We have William Wright and Miss Patricia Everett. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I have to work. I'm Pat Everett from the DC Fire Department, and I'm in fire prevention. I'm Pat Everett. I'm from the DC Fire Department, and I'm one of the educators. And I'm going to let everybody else introduce themselves to you.
I'm William Wright. I'm with DC Fire EMS, Public Information Office.
Lieutenant Stevens, we're here from Engine Company 19, right down the street.
Yeah. The best fire department.
Probationary Dominguez as well, Engine Company 19.
Thank you.
Technician Lemons, Engine 19. Good evening, Probationary Bizarre, working Engine 19 tonight.
Thank you.
And we were invited out tonight to talk to you about fire safety, to do your blood pressure and glucose. So, with all that said, let me ask you one question. How would you all get out of this room if something were to happen?
Run and push
Fire
everything
or
back.
accident or something. How would you all get out of this room?
You look for the fire exit, you head out.
Look for the exit.
Okay, I heard a whole bunch of stuff out there. I heard get down low and crawl. Everybody was pointing in different directions. Okay. So if I turned the lights out and said fire, what would y'all do? Y'all don't know what the exits are?
Walk across your door right there.
I don't know if it's unlocked. That's what I'm saying. Okay, wherever you go, we would like for you all to always look for the exit signs, because that's your way out of any place. Some people pointed to that door, some people pointed over there. Nobody pointed over there. Where do those doors take you?
Upstairs? They don't take you out.
And where does that door back there take you?
Upstairs to the front. You can go upstairs 4 steps and go out the big door.
Okay. Okay, I understand she's a member of the church, as she knows. Okay, but, please, wherever you go, whatever you're doing, be it church, you out shopping, please always look for the exit sign, so if something does happen, you will be able to get out, okay? How many of you attend church here? Okay. How many of you in your the churches that you attend, how many of you know how to get out of your church? Well, all right then, but nobody knows how to get out of here. Well, all right then. Okay, have you all done a drill at your church?
No.
Okay, maybe that's something you all will want to think about, okay? Everything happens nowadays, so, want to make sure you know how to get out of your church. We do, and we can come out and speak to your ushers. If they're the people that are going to get the members of the church out, we can come out and talk to your ushers.
So we're actually having an usher meeting at my church. Is there a card or a number that I can get before you guys leave? Okay.
Yeah, we can give you the number. And, and we are doing it at my church. I go to St. Luke's Catholic Church, so we are doing it at my church. We did a drill, and not so much that Sunday. So, just in your church, just try to, talk to your pastor, your priest, and then so you all can do a drill, and everybody will be safe and know how to get out of the church. And you folks that are out in the clubs and things at night, do you all look at where the exit signs are? We have an inspector that's out, and he will close the club down if it's overcrowded. So any of you that may be still out, just watch your exit signs so that you will be able to get out. How many of you know how to get out of your homes?
I would hope so.
Well, thank you. I'm glad everybody's hand went up. Okay, have you all done a drill in your homes?
I have.
Every day when I walk outside.
Okay, why y'all haven't done a drill? I know when we go home, there's plenty of things to do, but why haven't y'all done a drill?
It's already in. Get out.
Okay, but now you all think you do. Y'all want to go into that when it's dark
So basically, when the smoke banks down and you get a little bit disoriented, you want to make sure you have a well-rehearsed plan on how to get out without having to think about it. And multiple ways. It might be the kitchen fire that's blocking your main entrance. Might be a bedroom across the hall, so you're stuck in your bedroom. You want to have a plan and a way to get out of multiple rooms in multiple different ways. And that goes for, like Ms. Everett was saying, with the clubs as well. There have been multiple incidences. Human nature is to go out the door you came in. So it's very good when you go in to just spot another exit, because it might be likely that there's a pile of people at the front door and you're going out the back door by yourself. So it's just a good thing to always keep in mind a second way out.
How do people get out without a ladder from the top floor bedroom?
Best thing to do if you're in the top floor bedroom is to shut the door and just shove things under there, keep the smoke from coming out, and hang a towel or hang something out the window that'll let us know that you're out there, that you're in their room, and that's something we look for if we know there's somebody in there with clothing or a towel or something hanging out the window.
They do have ladders that, that you that roll out.
I got one. But we can't recommend those?
No, I was just saying to the point, you'd have to check the Tinsel Street, how much it's gonna hold you, but they do have those that,
At the different hardware stores. But the thing with the ladders, when you practice, and in case of emergency, the first person that goes down, if they freeze, then nobody else can go down the ladder, unless you're gonna kick them and, off the ladder. But the first person that goes down, because that's when your fear of heights comes out. Yeah, so, you can practice with them if you want with your families.
Is there anything like a blanket that you can put over like a senior and try to protect the senior?
You talking about that, a fire blanket or something?
Yes. And how would you get one?
There are fire blankets there, mainly as far as I know. I haven't seen one in years, usually in like a kitchen area. So if it's a person that gets caught on fire while they're cooking or something, you can wrap them up with it to put the fire out that way. As far as you're talking about like covering somebody up in bed to keep them from getting...
Yeah, because if they're bedridden, and you're in a hospital bed, and you might have to try to wheel them out or get them out some kind of way in a wheelchair.
I do know on our computer system, if you have a home or somewhere that you know somebody's bedridden, you can contact the Fire Prevention Division and they can put a note in the computer that's right in front of the fire engine, and we'll see, if it's an apartment building, apartment 201, handicapped, you know, and that lets us know that we need to go check that room, you know, first priority to get that person out, because they can't help themselves.
Yeah, and it doesn't go any further than the firehouse and communications. So that's just a heads up for the guys when they respond. So, and we do suggest that we do recommend that you give them that information and just tell them where they are, what their challenge is. Smoke, did that answer your question? How many of you have smoke alarms in your home? Well, all right then. How many your smoke alarms work? How y'all know they working?
I test my smoke.
Excuse me. How do you all know they working?
Test them.
Go off all the time.
Uh-oh, I heard somebody say they going off all the time. Why they going off all the time?
Because I have an oven right next to one.
Huh?
Oven right next to one. When it steams,
Oh, yeah, that's what I.
Oh, okay. Do you have a window that you can open?
it's an old house.
Okay. So you don't have a window?
Windows don't work.
Not on that floor.
Okay, okay. How old are your smoke alarms? Not how old are you all, but how old are your smoke alarms?
Less than a year?
Less than a year? Okay, the only reason I was asking, all the jurisdictions give away free smoke alarms, but you have to live in your own home, and they're the 10-year battery operated smoke alarms. So we do give them away. We don't have any carbon monoxide detectors, nor the combination smoke alarm and carbon monoxide detector. So we have the community sheet here, and on the community sheet, you can there's a number you can call for smoke alarms. And the firefighters are the ones that are doing installation. The chief wants the firefighters to install smoke alarms. In the past, the chiefs found out that when we gave smoke alarms to people, they didn't install them or they didn't install them right. So we would prefer that the firefighters come out. And they come out Monday through Saturday from 8 to 8. And no Sundays unless it's an absolute emergency, only because of churches on Sunday. So we have, I don't know if everybody got the community sheet, but we do have the community sheet with that number. Now, fire extinguisher. Okay. How many of you know how to use a fire extinguisher? Okay. How many of you have them in your home? Okay. How old are they? Okay. Okay. Now, if they're over 5 years, we want you to get new ones because the life of a fire extinguisher in a home is 5 years. In office buildings or out in buildings, they're serviced every year.
Can they be, the ones you buy at like Home Depot, can they be refilled or, repressurized or?
No, they're usually a one-shot deal.
Okay.
Yeah, and they, the ones that you get in Home Depot or wherever, they just have a nozzle, but that's proper, that's up to code. So you can use that one. And then multi-purpose ABC.
Yeah.
How should we dispose of our old, over 5-year-old fire extinguisher?
Okay, you can take it when they have, you here in the city?
Yes.
Okay, when they have bulk,
Yes.
or not bulk, I'm sorry, hazardous waste day.
Yes.
You have to empty it so you can take it out into your backyard and you and your family can practice. Yeah, but no, don't shoot everybody else. Just your family members, yeah. Pretend that you're putting out a fire, and once it's empty, then you can take it to the hazardous waste.
Thank you.
So with the fire extinguishers, and this might be an old question and they may not make them anymore, but at one time, particularly I think it's the KIDDE brand, K-I-D-D-E, was there a fire extinguisher that maybe some of the big box stores sold that had like one type of like a 3-letter acronym, but there's a dual one that's supposed to be better for fire extinguishers?
I don't know anything about a dual one. Yeah, because all the ones that they make
Yeah, basically, they break fires down by classification, A, B, C, D. So that's what those letters mean. So if you find one that's A, B, C, that's gonna cover, C's cooking fires, so grease fires, stuff like that. So A, B, and C will cover everything. D and E starts getting into like metal, like industrial type stuff. So if it says A, B, and C, that's gonna be good for you. And
Okay, so that's for home, that would take care of
That would
anything.
take care of your home
ABC,
ABC multi-purpose.
ABC, okay.
Yeah, if it has the letters A, B, C on there, you're good for anything that's gonna happen. It's usually a dry chemical, which, and a thing to keep in mind, if you're outside discharging it, you don't wanna breathe it in. It's nasty, it stinks, and it'll be in your nose and mouth for the rest of the day, so. Just make sure you're shooting it, downwind.
Yes.
Thank you.
Did that answer your question?
You did, it did,
Okay.
thank you.
And most people will have those in their trunk, well, I should say most men will carry those in their trunks, the multi-purpose in case of a car fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why we have car insurance, ladies, because we're not gonna try to fight a fire. We're gonna take whatever's in the car, and then we're gonna dial 911.
I know this might seem silly, but
No question is silly.
Okay, so if you have a pet in the home, are there ways, I thought there might be, I think I'd heard of like a sticker you could put on your door or something, window to say we've got 2 cats, 4 dogs, a bird. Do you know if there's any way, I know it seems really, compared to an elderly family member, but is there any way to alert the fire department that there might be, 2 dogs, a cat, an old
We
cat,
get that
old
question
dog?
all the time.
Okay.
We don't have anything in particular, but there are things out there. And you can stick on the window, the front door is a good spot. I think there's a little pet finder sticker you can probably find online. It's something that the guys going through the front door might see, might not see. But there is a company on every house fire that's dedicated strictly to searching. And they pull pets, people, whatever they come across, they're pulling out. So if they do see that sticker, then they'll know to look out for it. If they find 1 dog and it says there's 2, then they'll know that they got to go back in and look for another dog. Or a cat, whatever, hamster.
And we do have the little masks that we can put on, that they put on them. So if they find them and they're down, then they'll put the mask on them and bring them out. But,
If you decide to, if you decide to purchase that sticker, if you move, please remember to remove that sticker because the firefighters be looking for pets. And there's no pet in the home.
And same with the children's, the stickers, yeah.
I just want to answer your question. So I go to Penfield, it's actually in Navy Yard, and they have those for free, and they actually stick those they stick it on the glass. They're not stickers, they're just applied.
Oh, great, okay, thank you.
And they're free.
And do you all have go kits for yourselves as well as your pets? Meaning that if you have to leave your home, do you have a little kit beside your door or wherever with maybe medicines, change of clothing, information, contact information and things like that? Oh, well, I guess not. What about for your pets? Oh, well, I guess not. Okay. Well, we do recommend that you do a go bag, just in case you have to leave your home and you won't be back for a couple days. And like I said, medicines, change of clothing, maybe some energy bars or something like that. With your pets, you should have maybe their rabies shot records, a little tag, anything that's going to identify them or let if they have to go to a shelter to let the people know that they do have their shots. In the
Question regarding training. Defibrillator, CPR, or mass casualty training. I noticed on the mass casualty, because we're getting a lot of that now, they're coming with tourniquets. Things that could help, like if you're in a active shooter situation or something like that.
So basically, you're asking if you can equip yourself with with like tourniquets and things like that, if you're at work or something happens like that?
Well, I know, yes, I guess to the mass training, I think it was on 60 Minutes, how they were saying that now that they're preparing and, you know, they'll have the bandages or the tourniquet kit to be able to save lives right there because it's almost like a battlefield injury.
Yes, actually, yeah, the city did purchase, we have a, they call it a mass casualty bag that all the fire engines have that contains chest seals to seal, you know, open chest wounds from shots or stab wounds. It has tourniquets in it to be able to treat a mass casualty incident in large numbers of people with those type of injuries. And then there's also units along the city that are better equipped for larger scale emergencies with all the supplies you would need to treat, you know, 100 plus people. So the city is well equipped to handle the mass casualty type incidents. We go through a lot of the training frequently. As far as the citizens, the training for what they can do, I'm not sure if there's a program in place for that. It's a good idea though. It's something that we can pass up to see, you know, just to give everybody a clue of what to do if something like that were to happen at their workplace or something. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. So.
And then about the
We do have, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Like if your organization, church, you have defibrillators, you train and use those, and then also CPR training.
Yeah, we have the CPR. We have the CPR flyer here, and we do have it's a 20-minute hands-on, and that's if you come across somebody that's down, and it's just to perform CPR on them until we arrive on the scene. So we do have that information, and I think they will come out to the churches or come out to your groups. The sergeant's name is on the flyer, so you know, I don't know if everybody got one, but we have some extra ones.
I invited them here today because, of course, we all know we had a fire on Texas Avenue. So he's going to address the fire that happened on the 3500 block of Texas Avenue today.
Okay, I'd like to ask you all one question pertaining to not fire EMS before he asks that. The active shooters video training, how many of you all have seen that? Okay, I recommend that you all try to see that video. It's very powerful, it's very educational.
Where is it? Okay.
Well,
Wait a minute.
the SWAT team has it.
Right.
But work with the SWAT team.
So, Ms. Everett can talk to Shannon about getting somebody here if you choose to do that.
Well, you could ask Officer James.
Please use the microphone, sir. We can't
Yeah,
hear you back here.
I just wanted to mention that about the active shooters training. Recommend that everybody get a chance to see that. Thank you for the fire.
Yeah, so there was a fire, Texas Avenue. It was pretty much a routine fire for us. It came out actually as a local alarm for a car fire, and the car happened to be in the garage. So they had basement fire. First arriving units went on the scene with the car attached in the house, you know, garage attached to the house. And they knocked the car down quickly, put the fire out quickly when they first arrived. But the fire had since spread to the basement and up to the first floor. So the other units stretched hand lines to the first floor and put the fire out on the first floor. Heavy smoke conditions. I don't know if you guys were there or saw that fire. It was a lot of smoke. Car fires tend to make a lot of smoke, and all that smoke was confined into the house. So it was heavy smoke conditions and pretty good amount of fire on the first floor. But the companies that were there made a quick attack, put the fire out. Like I said, the squad company made a good search. Fortunately, nobody was in the house at the time. And fire went out as it's supposed to when we arrived. So, and from our standpoint, everything went well. It looks bad in the public's eye when there's a house like that burning, but that's what we're here for. And yeah, everything went well on our end.
Could you point to some safety things
Yeah,
about
can
our
you just give
cars?
some holiday pointers or even pertaining to cars and
The car, what do you
Car.
think happened in the car that caused it to catch on fire?
I have no idea.
Oh,
The
okay.
investigators come and they have ways of piecing all that together. I don't know that side of it.
And it may still be an investigation too.
She might be parking in
but
the
any
traffic.
upcoming holiday
Yeah,
preventative
I
stuff?
got, I had, I bought turkey fryer, That is a problem around Thanksgiving and Christmas, because people will put them on their decks. The turkey is frozen. They'll drop it in the hot grease. And then all of a sudden, all the grease comes up on the deck. And then you don't have a deck. So we recommend that if you are going to use a turkey fryer, please be very, very careful. Don't drop the frozen turkey in the hot grease. Just, wait till it thaws out, a couple days, and put it in the hot grease. But please don't drop it, because when you drop it, then the grease pops out. And then when the grease pops out on your wooden deck, and then there's a fire, then here we come. And then you have no deck, you have no turkey, you have no turkey fry. So just be very, very careful. And I don't know how many of you use live trees for Christmas, but me too.
I water them daily.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay. Make sure that you turn your lights out if you have lights on your tree when you go. I know we all like to come back down the street and look at our pretty tree with all the pretty lights on it. But if your tree is dry, your lights, the cords may be damaged, so you need to check your cords before you light your tree up to make sure that the cords are good, they're not soft to the touch, and you make sure that the extension cord is good. And as much as I love the dollar store, please don't get them from the dollar store. One, they're not UL listed, so they haven't been tested. So, just go pay a little bit more money and go to a hardware store and get the little brown ones or the little white extension cords. And just make sure that you water your tree. Make sure that you turn your lights out when you go to sleep or when you leave the home. And space heaters. How many of us using space heaters? Okay. How far are you all using them from? Are you using them at night? Are you using them close to your bed? Okay. I hear sometimes they'll be with me. All right. At night, we don't want you to use the space heaters because that's radiant heat, and all that heat is just bouncing off of your bedspread, your curtains, or whatever. You're supposed to have 3 feet, a 3-foot clearance around your space heaters. And kerosene heaters are banned here in the city. If you have a kerosene heater and your home catches on fire because of the heater, then you can be fined. The other little regular heaters that look like a radiator or the old-fashioned ones, those are good. The kerosene heaters give off carbon monoxide. And if they tip over, then you have a problem. So I know they sell them here in the city, but they're illegal here in the city. You can't have a kerosene heater. So your space heaters need to be like 3 feet from anything that'll burn. When you go to sleep at night, and I know we like to be toasty warm, but just turn the space heater off, put some more blankets on the bed, and and good night. You have a safe sleep. But just try to do those things just so you'll be safe.
No, the reason I asked Shannon to mention the space heaters because I was visiting seniors at my church, and I noticed they had the little radiator type, but they had them sitting on carpet. So what we did at the church was cut out hard pieces of board and had them sit them on there. Yeah, they had them right on carpet, and they get extremely hot.
And then another thing we find out that seniors do, if they get cold, they'll turn the oven on.
Yes.
And they'll leave the oven door open. Or they'll put pots of hot water on the stove. And both of those things are no-no. If the stove goes out, then you have carbon monoxide that's leaving. If they put the water on, and if something should happen, then that hot water is going to come down on them. So, you know, just be very, very careful. And that's all.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, fire and EMS, we have the EMTs, paramedic firefighters right here on the side, and they can do blood pressure and blood sugar testing. We like for you to come over like one at a time, and we can do that right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, William Wright and Ms. Everett and Engine 19. Thank you for what you do for our community. We appreciate you.
I also want to mention they brought a bunch of handouts for anyone who wants to grab them. They're on the table in the back of the room.
Okay, thank you. Next, we will have the Office of People's Counsel. Ms. Jean is going to come up and speak to you all quickly.
Well, good afternoon. I want to first of all thank you for inviting us. On behalf of the People's Counsel, Ms. Sandra Madison Fry. My name is Jean Rose Pepper, and I am a consumer outreach specialist. I'm sorry. I'm a consumer outreach specialist with the Office of the People's Counsel. Many of you may know the work of the office, but for those of you who don't, the Office of the People's Counsel is an independent agency of the District of Columbia government. By law and statute, we are your advocate when it comes to any matters regarding utilities, gas, electric, local telephone services, and hopefully in the very near future, water. The Office of the People's Counsel, just for a little background, the Office of the People's Counsel was initially established in 1926. And in 1952, it was demolished by the federal government. Well, as a result of the outcry of the residents of the District of Columbia for the need for consumer advocacy and noting rising costs in utilities, gas in particular, the office was reestablished in 1975. And it's so ironic because right now we're still watching the changes that are taking place in the utility arena. I want to talk to you all about 4 specific concerns that we're seeing in our office, and I want you to make certain that you take note of these changes that we're seeing. And if you know anyone who is experiencing these kinds of issues, that you please make sure that they contact us. So first of all, Washington Gas. Many of you may have noticed that in September of this year, you should have seen a $150 credit on your Washington Gas bill. For those of you who pay gas. I got $325. Individuals should have received, at a minimum, then I should say, a $150 credit on their September bill. That's a direct result of the office's advocacy on your behalf during the Washington Gas, Alter Gas merger. That was one of the things that the People's Counsel fought very hard for, to make certain that the residents of the District of Columbia, that's one of the bennies, to make sure that they were better off as a result of the merger than they would have been since the merger was going to take place. Next thing I want you all to know is that we are seeing an increased number of disconnections regarding Washington Gas and high bills. And when I say high bills, I'm talking about bills in the like $10,000. And you'll say, well, how does that happen? Well, that is happening because we have so many individuals who have their meters inside their homes, people who have fallen on hard times because of medical reasons or their inability to pay their bills. And then all of a sudden it just sort of skyrockets. You know, it starts out and it's $1,000, and then because of the rate of interest that is charged on your bill, it just balloons. And so Washington Gas, after the merger, and I think in their attempt to clean up their books, they've started digging and doing what is known as a hard access, because people would not open the doors so that they could read the meters. And so that you say, well, why would you allow my bill to get up to $5,000 or $10,000? And Washington Gas is saying, because you would not give us access. So if you happen to know anyone who has a meter inside their home, and if they may feel fearful that their bill is just outrageous, tell them to please contact us. We can help to work out payment arrangements, identify resources, and so forth to avoid the disconnection. Because once the disconnection happens, it's what's known as a hardwire access. And that means that Washington Gas has received permits for which they have paid to go and dig underground. And even when you make those payments, it may take up to 2 weeks before you can get your services restored because they have to secure an additional permit to go back underground to dig. Okay? And then they're going to move that meter outside. Okay? Also, with Washington Gas, you're going to start noticing some construction. There has been approved a 40-year plan to replace your gas lines. The reason for that is because the infrastructure, the gas infrastructure, left a lot to be desired. We have been receiving numerous complaints about people smelling gas. You know, the infrastructure just needed to be replaced. So you're going to start seeing the gas company coming along, and if your meter happens to be in your home, they're going to remove that meter to put it outside. But you do have rights when it comes to the meter relocation. So please, when you see that happening, you should receive a 2-week notice letting you know that the gas company is going to be in your neighborhood. If your meter is on the inside, they're going to move it outside. But you do have rights in terms of the aesthetics of where that meter is located. Because the Office of the People's Counsel, your property should not be diminished in there should not be any residual negative effects on your property and its value based on the meter location. Okay? So, Verizon, real quick on Verizon. We've been receiving a number of complaints because people who have copper wire, which allows them to have landline service, when there's service, they're receiving static in their line, and they call for repair. Verizon is saying, oh, we can't repair it, we have to switch you over to Fios. That's what they're saying, Fios. Not to a fiber optic network, which will allow you to have any supplier for your cable and to be able to maintain some semblance of of a landline, but they're switching you over to their cable brand, which is Fios. Okay, so please, you do not have to switch at this time. In 2015, the Office of the People's Counsel took to court, and the Public Service Commission agreed because we're in the nation's capital, and because at that time liability was an issue. People needed to have their landline because it is a form of their means of communication with the outside world. And when everything is on, when you have when your phone is not LAN and connected with a cable source, you know that when you lose electricity, you lose phone service. Okay? Pepco has a new account. They have revamped their My Account. Please, for those of you who may be interested in solar, please take a look at the My Account. Because what they have done is they have placed on their website a portal in which you can actually put in your address, and it will tell you the probability the feasibility of switching to solar and what that would cost. In your pamphlets, we have prepared a book, Going Solar, because that is one of the areas in which the office is very involved in. And individuals have numerous questions about whether or not to lease, to rent, lease with the option to buy, rent, and or to purchase. The guide, which is in your pamphlet, is a wonderful tool. I would ask you to please take a moment, read it, It will empower you so that you can have the conversation, and then you can and please feel free to give us a call and we can walk you through. Pepco Washington Gas. I spoke about water a little, but I want to say that with water, we have 2 more meetings, November the 21st and November the 28th, before the legislation will go before Congress to see if it's passed. We want to be your consumer advocate when it comes to water. And consumer advocate is quite different just a call center or complaint center. We want to be able to have power when it comes to, and a voice when it comes to regulating the rates on water and the charges, okay? Last but not least, I want to say, I heard someone mention about seniors and space heaters and so forth. There is a program known as Blocky, and that program provides financial assistance for individuals who may be challenged with meeting their utility costs. It is income-based, but the income requirements change year to year. So for example, I'm going to call off this number, and some people are going to go, but you will be surprised because we do live in a city of the have and have-nots. But for a family of 1, you can now make up to $31,000 and be qualified to receive some financial assistance and a monthly discount on your utility bill. For a family of 5, it's $70,000. So if you know someone who has children in the home, and maybe an individual, $70,000 is the limit. I don't want to say any more about that. And for those of you who do not qualify, if there is someone in the home who receives Social Security and your furnace goes out, the District of Columbia, through the DC Office of DC Energy Office, will replace your furnace or your hot water heater. But it must be someone in the home who receives Social Security if you do not meet these income requirements. Okay? Last but not least, those individuals who do qualify for the program, there's been a change in the state plan that says because an individual lives in a home versus an apartment and there's more square footage, with the expectation that they will have a higher utility bill, they have increased the allotment of the amount of money an individual would receive who's living in a home. So for example, it used to be a flat, regular benefits would be $250 and your emergency benefit would be $600. Now a family can receive as much as $700 on the regular benefits and still the $600 on the emergency benefits. So that, to a sum of like $1,300 to $1,400 to assist them with their utilities. Okay? Third-party suppliers is the last but not least. The Office of the People's Counsel, it is important to know that we support competition. However, we really believe that consumers need to be educated so that they can make an informed decision when it comes to third-party suppliers. We have quite a few people who are out and they are purporting to offer discounts on your utility bills, which sometimes is not true. And individuals just need to know the questions to ask before they engage. There are over 75 suppliers in the district, 75 companies that are licensed in the District of Columbia to sell you electricity or energy. And so that means that they have their 75 different programs. In order for you, we would like to say, before you consider, please know how to read your utility bill and take a moment to really thoroughly review the third-party supplier guide, which we have in your pamphlet, in your folder. That will give you the questions you need to ask so that you can make an informed decision when it comes to selecting third-party suppliers. Okay. Are there any questions? Yes.
Yes, you were talking about the water, still have a couple more meetings. Do you see anything to reduce the impervious surface credit that we get on the bill?
We're looking at that. What I do know, I just learned today, is that the churches, they're looking at reducing that for the churches and some homeowners, seniors in particular, reducing that fee. But I don't have all the particulars. As I mentioned, we are looking at their legislation was introduced for the Office of the People's Counsel. We do not really have authority over it right now, so I don't want to really speak to it. But I will say, though, if you have concerns, you can give our office a call, because we have two individuals in our office, Linda Jefferson, who normally comes and presents to you all, and Lawrence Jones. And right now, they are acting as the two key persons when it comes to water issues, and are able to work out payment arrangements with the water company.
Well, I just...
And to deal with, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I know in Maryland, Governor Hogan repealed that. It's called like the rain tax. And they're charging us for the runoff, they say, to clean the water and any hard surfaces or any surface that you have that the water doesn't seep through. They're charging you for that.
Right. And yes, and you know that that's happening here in the District of Columbia. It's not happening. What they are looking to do, the SCU, which is a Sustainable Energy Utility, is now promoting rain barrels and some other form to help reduce the cost. And then you should receive an additional discount. But that's the issue that has really raised concern regarding water and whether or not water is being regulated. Because as you know, it's almost 75% of your bill. Yes.
Is your office involved in any way with the issue of spam phone calls from hijacked phone numbers? For instance, I'm wondering if our telephone provider, Verizon, would be responsible for investigating when I get a spam call and it shows up on my caller ID as a person's name with a local telephone number that I recognize as my area. And if I call them back, if I hit redial and I get Mrs. So-and-so who says, I didn't make that call, that's a hijacked phone line. Does the telephone utility have any responsibility for investigating that? I've asked Verizon and just said, well, we can help you block those calls. And it's like, no, because it's not always Mrs. So-and-so's phone.
This is an issue that I will take back to the office, and we will do a more thorough investigation on the phone companies, Verizon in particular. Liability and responsibility.
Okay, thank you.
I have T-Mobile, and the same thing happened. And I have a 617 number. I'm from Boston, but I live here now. And I get the same, they use the 617 area code, the same exchange, 335 is my number, and then another number. And they just keep on, they call every day.
Right, and it happens both on my cell phone and my landline, which is Verizon, and generally it's just going down a list of phone numbers with the same exchange. Occasionally you can tell by caller ID that it's not from that source.
I will, as I said, I've taken a note, and I will definitely, okay? I want to thank you all, and if you have any questions, yes?
Oh, I have one question. You mentioned that earlier I guess in September, we were supposed to see a
$150 credit on your gas bill.
So what if you didn't see that credit?
Then you should give our office a call, because something is wrong.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, and on brochure, everything that I passed out there, even purple bags in the back, has our number, but the number is 727-3071. Again, 202-727-3071. Okay, and again, on behalf of the People's Council and Sonia Madam I'd like to thank you all for inviting us.
Thank you so much. We kind of ran short on time today, so I'm going to be very quick, and then Kyle's going to be extra quick. So Anita Bonds was supposed to be here today, but she got held up at the legislative hearings before they go on winter recess. And I got that phone call right before I got here to the meeting. She sends her apologies and regrets, and she's going to attempt to reschedule. But we did submit some pressing questions that we want her to address as soon as possible. And just one, because we sent like a list of them, but I'm only going to mention one. There has been predatory buyers targeting the elderly within our neighborhood. And on the 3300 block of Carpenter Street, we actually had a resident whose house was put on the market. And this lady is experiencing dementia, and she wasn't even aware that her house was on the market. And luckily, we got wind of it and were able to have the home removed off of being on the market. So again, seniors, just be careful in your dealings with this predatory behavior, and we are working with several agencies to try to prevent that from happening to our local residents. So Kyle, come up quickly and say what you have to say.
Thanks, Shannon. Good evening, everybody. Appreciate your patience and good questions and participation during the meeting. I wanted to provide a brief update on the group of us that have gotten together to look at pedestrian and bicyclist safety throughout our area, and who participated last week in a meeting that was hosted.
Can't hear you.
As close as I can. Maybe you can pull it out. How about that? Is that better? Yeah. All right. So a group of us participated last week in a meeting that was hosted by DDOT on the Minnesota Avenue and Pennsylvania Avenue intersection project. This is something that's been in the works for a couple of years, and they've solicited community feedback on it. There were some questions that were raised about bus routes, pedestrian safety, cyclist safety that was going to be looked at by the folks who are putting this project together. They're getting very close to final design and are hoping to begin construction late in 2019. So in an effort to be brief, I'll say that there is a group of us that are working on this. Our intent is to take input from the community, provide that to DDOT before the comment period ends next month. If you have further questions, you'd like to provide more input, please come to me or to Marie, who's helping with this effort. After the meeting, we'll be happy to talk with you in more detail and also take in some of your concerns. Thank you all very much. Are there any immediate questions on this or feedback?
I thought you all were looking cohesively at bike safety for transporting yourselves from point A, this neighborhood, to point B in the downtown corridor. Excuse me. And that's why I wanted to encourage and keep encouraging you all to go to the central meetings that are happening. They just had a big one, and I had sent the email with the list, and nobody from the community showed up. You need to really, going forward, participate with these core meetings that are happening about what we can do to get better connectivity from point A to central downtown. There's a design with National Park to connect Anacostia Park Trail to the Sousa Bridge. They're making those final decisions December the 10th. And I've sent this stuff out over and over again, and we send them as a community, and maybe it's just new, but you guys are gonna miss the gate. The gate's gonna shut December the 10th on the Anacostia connectivity at the Sousa Bridge, and December 5th on the other project that you just talked about.
All right, thank you, Ms. Paul. I'll follow up with you on that. And certainly what the group intends to do is to take a holistic look at things that get from our community out in every different direction to allow people to walk, bike, and use various forms of transportation. So we definitely want to participate in that.
Hi, there are some sidewalks that are not flat, or they've got some raised concrete from roots from trees. Is there anything being done about those in our neighborhood?
Yeah, it's actually good that you mentioned that. One of the first things that we're looking to do is actually develop a list of 311 reports and ensure that they're reported and then tracked. That's the sort of thing that will fall into that category. So if you find that stuff and we haven't, we're going to keep a central list. Please feel free to reach out to me or to other folks on the board. We'll make sure that it gets into the list to get addressed. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it.
Okay, so thank you all for coming out tonight, and, Ms. Pauls, I'm sorry. I'm gonna let her come up, I'm sorry, okay. I'm timing you. I'm timing you.
First, I want to say thanks for everybody that's out. Most of these people live in my block, so they're good people, and they will continue to drive 2 for 1. We are on, seriously, we have a goal for every block. We want 2 people from every block. Therefore, you know, everybody will hear something. I'm focused on the holidays. I'm already into Christmas. And on the table before you leave out, please pick up the Public Works Committee's flyer on the holiday decorating. We're going to do it earlier this year, Saturday, December the 1st. We want you to bring your young people out. Excuse me, I'm sorry. We still have stored a lot of the decorations that people have donated over the years. We want to encourage each block to go and find another nice set of solar lights. We want to light up the park for the holidays. We're going to serve hot cider, hot cocoa, some candy and fruit. It's going to be maybe 30, 45 minutes of decorating with your young people, and then those who have good voices will lead us in song, and we'll just sip some hot cider and have a good time and learn who we are. That's all I want us to do this year. That's December the 1st, a Saturday, 10 a.m. to 12. The other thing is, we talked about this, this won't take about another second, but it's important. I have been trying to recruit and have gotten a couple of new recruits from the last meeting. I want to make sure you take the flyer that talks about Public Works Committee and what we're really looking for. We need people. I need a photographer. I tried to recruit Stan last meeting, but he was shy. Well, we really do. If you're going to capture miniature grants to support and sustain the parks, you need to have photos. And the good news is, hopefully everybody saw that we do have a new flag. We've already thanked our partners, the Department of General Services. But what we want to be able to do ongoingly around the flag, and Mr. Lenny Washington is my flag team taskmaster. Mr. Washington, throw up your hands. We're going to be doing a small fundraiser, and we'll share it at the executive committee meeting, so that we always have funds. And Mr. Washington's in charge of flags, along with these other 3 guys who are former military. So we always have $60, $70 set aside. So when we see that the flag is about to deteriorate, we get a flag, and the team, I don't know nothing about raising the flag up or down. They do it, and they do it well. So we do need people to help us in that. We need tree trimmers. We need garden managers. What are garden managers? You walk through the gardens that are down there, the 3 large gardens. If you see overgrowth, you say, hey, I need to get 4 or 5 people, and we're going to go de-weed that garden area before the spring comes. We need technical writers for the miniature grants. We need people who want to take and do things in our park. The city spent $1.2 million renovating Polk Street Park. We need to make sure we use the park. It's at the bottom of Polk Street. Go down 34th. There it is. Please, it's your park. If you guys want to have birthday parties for the young people, you want to teach them chess. There are 2 tables and benches. You want to teach them checkers. Go down there. It is your property. I rarely see people using the park. One suggestion that came in the email recently was movies for the young babies when it's appropriate, when it's warm. Mr. Baker, who we lost as a nice community member, he used to do that for us, and he was on my committee. So I need to recruit somebody else who's creative and who knows how to show the movies. He had a real screen, he had a video machine that was battery operated, and he had all of the latest Disney movies for the young people. It brought 40 to 50 parents who live in this community together that never knew each other. And they got to be friends. They started a book club. So again, the Public Works Committee, our only goal is to keep your community clean, safe, and quality infrastructure.
I actually have an inflatable screen. We would just have to figure out how to generate electricity because the fan has to keep going.
Mr. Baker.
So that sounds like a fun idea. That's something to, I guess, figure out how to make happen come spring, summer. So thank you. I don't think it's anything else that we need to address tonight. We definitely, it looked like I saw Tawana raise the sheet from the back. We got quite a few people sign up for memberships tonight, so I'm happy about that. Again, check out our new membership cards that we have for the association. Thank you. Oh, Tawana, do you want to do the treasurer report quickly?
Good evening, everyone. This is the Treasury report for the end of the month of October. Our ending balance was $1,838. And during the month of October, we printed the membership cards. We did the printing for the newsletter. We paid the church fee and the postage, the mailbox, so we can continue getting the Penn branch mail. There was a total of $371.06. Now we have a balance of $1,465.01. $1,465.01. That's accepted.
I accept.
And so tonight we've done very well with the membership. We've collected $380. So this will help us out a lot for a lot of the upcoming events. And I appreciate your support to the Penn Branch community.
Thank you. Okay, so this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.